One night, after finding out his wife is seeing another man, Andy gets in his car. He drives to their house with a gun in his hand, but he does not go inside. He sits there, drinks, and eventually drives away. He throws the gun into a river and goes home to sleep. The next morning, his wife and her lover are both dead. Someone else killed them. But Andy was there that night. He had a gun. He had a reason. And the court decides that is enough. The judge sentences him to 2 life terms. Andy is sent to Shawshank State Penitentiary. On the first night at Shawshank, the new prisoners are brought in, and the old ones watch from above, placing bets on who will break first. A man named Red, known around the prison as someone who can get you anything you need, bets that the quiet one will cry. The quiet one is Andy. Andy does not make a sound. Red loses his bet. That first night, one of the new arrivals cannot stop crying. A guard beats him to death for making noise. Andy watches, he says nothing. He files it away. He is already learning how this place works. The prison is run by Warden Norton, a cold and deeply religious man who quotes the Bible with one hand and runs crooked deals with the other. His right-hand man is Captain Hadley, a guard who uses his fists the way most people use words. This is the world Andy has walked into, and he is going to have to find a way to survive it. Before long, Andy approaches Red with a strange request. He wants a rock hammer, a small one. Red laughs. He tells Andy that with a tool that small, it would take 600 years to dig through a prison wall. Andy just smiles. He also asks for a poster, Rita Hayworth, something to put on the wall. Red gets him both. No questions asked. Life in Shawshank is hard and slow. But Andy keeps his head down and his eyes open. Then one day, a moment comes that changes everything. Andy and a group of prisoners are working on the roof of a building in the hot sun. He overhears Captain Hadley complaining about money, about taxes, on an amount he has just inherited. Andy walks over to the edge of the roof, right next to a man who could throw him off without thinking twice, and starts talking. He tells Hadley he can help him keep all of it, legally, every single dollar. Hadley listens. Andy's price for the advice? 3 cold beers for each of the men working beside him on that roof. Not for himself. For them. Because he wants them to feel, just for one afternoon, like normal people sitting in the sun with a drink in their hand. They get their beers, and from that day on, Red and his friends see Andy differently. Warden Norton sees something in Andy too, but what he sees is useful. He moves Andy to work in the prison library alongside an old man named Brooks Hatlin. Brooks has been in Shawshank for 50 years. He knows every corner of the place. He knows every face. This prison is the only world he has left. But that is not really why Andy is there. Norton has Andy doing something far more valuable. Andy manages the finances of every guard in the prison. He does their taxes, he files their papers, he makes their money problems disappear. And more importantly, he helps Norton hide money that Norton has been collecting through illegal deals on the outside. He creates a fake identity, a name that does not exist, called Randall Stevens. And every payment that Norton should not be receiving goes through Randall Stevens. Andy becomes the most important prisoner in Shawshank, and the most trapped. Then Brooks gets paroled. After 50 years inside those walls, he is free. But freedom terrifies him. The world outside has moved on without him. Everything is bigger, faster, louder. He does not know how to cross a street anymore. He does not know how to talk to people. He gets a small job and a small room, and he sits alone every night wondering how to fill the hours. Brooks cannot make it. He takes his own life. When Red hears the news, he tells the others something he has been thinking about for a long time. The walls of this prison are strange things. When you first arrive, you hate them. You rage against them. But after enough years, you need them. The world inside starts to feel like the only real world, and the world outside becomes the frightening place. He calls it being institutionalized, broken in, shaped by the prison, until the prison is all you are. Andy listens, and he keeps digging. In 1965, a young man named Tommy Williams arrives at Shawshank. He is loud and cocky and full of stories. Andy takes an interest in him. He helps Tommy study, helps him work toward getting a school qualification. Tommy is grateful, and one night, Tommy tells Andy something that stops him completely. Tommy says that at his last prison, his cellmate used to talk about the perfect crime he had pulled off. A banker's wife and a golf pro shot dead, and the husband got blamed for it. Tommy describes the man who bragged about it. The details match, the story matches, the timeline matches. Someone else killed Andy's wife, and Andy can prove it. He goes to Warden Norton and tells him everything. He asks for a new trial. He is calm about it, hopeful. He lays out the evidence and waits. Norton's face does not change. He listens to every word. And then he has Tommy taken outside and shot dead, making it look like Tommy tried to escape. Andy is thrown into solitary confinement for 2 months. For 2 months, the evidence disappears. The trial never happens. When Andy comes out of solitary, he looks different. Something in him has gone very quiet. He sits with Red and tells him about a place he has been thinking about for years. A small town on the coast of Mexico called Zihuatanejo. Warm water, blue sky, no walls. He says that is where he is going one day. He wants to fix up an old boat and take people out fishing. He speaks about it like it is already decided, like it is already happening. Red tells him to stop. Hope like that, in a place like this, can destroy you. Andy looks at him and says that hope is the one thing no one can ever take away from you. Red does not believe him. Then Andy tells him one more thing. If Red ever gets out, he should go to a hayfield in a town called Buxton. There is a long stone wall there, and at one end, beneath a black rock that does not belong, there is something waiting for him. Red nods. He does not fully understand, but he remembers. The next morning, Andy is gone. His cell is empty. Warden Norton storms in furious. He grabs a rock from Andy's collection and throws it at the poster on the wall. The poster is different now, not Rita Hayworth anymore. Raquel Welch. The rock goes straight through the wall behind it. Behind the poster, a hole. A tunnel, dug by hand over 19 years using a tiny rock hammer that Red once laughed about. Every night, while the rest of the prison slept, Andy chipped away at that wall. He hid the dust and the broken pieces in his trousers and scattered them across the yard every morning during exercise time. 19 years of patience, 19 years of quiet work, and nobody ever noticed. On a stormy night, Andy broke through into a sewer pipe. He used the sound of thunder to cover the noise of breaking through. Then he crawled through 500 yards of filth and sewage and came out the other side into the rain, arms wide open, face turned up to the sky, free. But Andy is not finished yet. The next morning, dressed in a clean suit, he walks into a series of banks as Randall Stevens. He withdraws over $370,000 of Warden Norton's hidden money, money that Norton stole over many years through his illegal deals. Every dollar of it, Andy takes back. He also mails a package to the local newspaper. Inside, documents, records, proof of every crooked deal Norton ever made, every bribe, every illegal payment, every crime hidden behind a Bible verse and a firm handshake. By the time the newspaper runs the story, the police are already on their way to Shawshank. Captain Hadley is arrested. Warden Norton locks himself in his office. He hears the footsteps in the corridor getting closer. He takes out his gun, and he does not wait to be taken. In 1967, Red is paroled. After 40 years inside, he walks out into a world that feels just as strange and frightening as it did for Brooks. He gets a small job, a small room. He stands in the middle of the supermarket, staring at the rows of things on the shelves, not knowing what to do with all that choice. He is scared. He thinks about going back, but he remembers the hayfield in Buxton. He finds it. He walks the length of the stone wall. He finds the black rock. He lifts it. Underneath, a tin box. Inside the box, money, enough to travel, and a letter from Andy. The letter tells him to come, to finish the journey, to stop being afraid. Red smiles for what feel like the first time in years. He breaks his parole. He crosses the border. He keeps going south until the air gets warm and the water turns blue. And on a bright beach, in the place Andy always described, he sees him, Andy standing in the sun, fixing an old boat. Exactly where he said he would be. The two men walk toward each other. And for the first time in a very long time, everything is exactly as it should be. And that is the Shawshank Redemption, a story about what happens when you refuse to let the world take your hope away from you. Andy spent 19 years in a prison cell, chipping away at a wall in the dark, holding on to a dream that most people would have given up on after the first year. He did not rage. He did not break. He just kept going, quietly, patiently, one small chip at a time. And in the end, he walked out into the rain, a free man. If this story moved you, hit that like button and subscribe for more. Drop a comment below and tell us what is the one line from this movie that has stayed with you. We will see you in the next one.